Hi everyone, I'm Fanny Curzon. Welcome to the Marriage Reset Podcast, Episode 2. Why couples stay stuck, understanding conflict cycles. That's our topic today. Welcome back to the Marriage Reset Podcast. In the last episode, we talked about when a marriage needs a reset, not because it's broken, but because it's overloaded. Today we're going to talk about it more deeply because many couples know they're stuck. They just don't understand why. They've read the books, they've had the conversations, they've promised to do better, and yet same argument, same shutdown, same distance. So today we're talking about how conflict cycles, not who's right, not who started it, but why it keeps repeating even when both people care. Quick reminder before we begin, this podcast is for education and insight purposes only, not therapy. For individualized treatment, seek clinical help. You'll hear some examples and you might get some strong emotion. If that's so, please seek appropriate help. Now let's slow down and talk about this together. Most couples believe conflict persists because one partner won't change, or one partner doesn't listen, or one partner is too emotional or too logical. But clinically, I can tell you this. Most couples don't get stuck because they don't care. They get stuck because they're reacting from protection, not retention. Conflict cycle is what happens when two nervous systems collide over and over and over again without understanding of what's happening underneath. And here are the key points. Couples don't fight because issues, they fight because of the inside patterns. Once you see the pattern, the blame softens. And that's where real change begins. So let's name the most common pattern couples find themselves trapped in. The core principle, the core cycle. Clinically, one of the most common cycles looks like this. One partner moves forward, the other one moves away. Often called the pursue and withdraw cycle. But let's make it human. Partner A, the pursuer, wants closeness, wants resolution, wants reassurance. So they push, they question, they criticize, they press harder. Not because they want conflict, but because they want connection. Partner B, on the other hand, the withdrawer, feels overwhelmed, feels criticized, feels inadequate or trapped. So they shut down, they get quiet, they avoid, leave emotionally or physically. Not because they don't care, but because their nervous system is flooded. Here's the tragedy. Each partner's protection becomes the other person's trigger. Think about that for a minute. A wife says, "Why won't you talk to me? Every time I bring this up, you shut down." The husband hears, "You're failing again," so he goes quiet. She interprets that silence as, "You don't care," so she pushes harder. And I both feel unseen, unsafe, and totally alone. Same argument, same ending, different day. Now let's clear up a big misconception. Because this keeps couples stuck together, stuck longer than anything else. And this is going to explain why inside alone doesn't fix the cycle. So many couples say, "We understand our pattern now, so why do we still do it?" Because inside lives in the thinking brain. That's where insight lives, right here. But conflict lives in the survival brain, right back here. When the nervous system is activated, logic shuts down, defensiveness rises, old wounds take over. In those moments, you're not choosing reactions, you are reenacting them. This is why telling couples to just communicate better often fails. They don't need better words, they need a regulated system. This is where I want to pause and take you into the therapy room again, because this is where authority deepens. If this couple were sitting in front of me, I wouldn't ask, why do you shut down? Or why do you push so hard? I'd be watching timing. I'd notice when one partner's voice changes, when the other's body shifts when safety drops, and I'd likely pause the session and say something like, right now, neither of you is wrong, but both of you are protecting yourselves in ways that keep you disconnected. Then I'd help each partner name what's underneath, because beneath criticism is usually fear, and beneath withdrawal is usually shame. When couples finally hear that, the room changes. So if conflict cycles aren't about willpower or effort, what actually interrupts them? That is where the reset comes in. How a marriage reset interrupts the cycle. A reset does not start with conflict resolution. It starts with pattern awareness and safety. In a reset, couples learn to name the cycle instead of blaming the person. Here we go again, because a shared language, right? 2, slow down escalation. Pause before a nervous system hijacks the conversation. Respond instead of react, even imperfectly. This is why intensives are so effective for stuck cycles. They remove the pressure of weekly survival mode and allow couples to actually see what's happening. If, as you listen today, you recognize your arguments, your shutdowns, your frustration at knowing better, but still doing the same thing, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not failing. You're patterned. And patterns can be interrupted with the right support. I offer a marriage reset intensive for couples who feel stuck in repeating conflict cycles or emotional distancing and want clarity without staying in therapy indefinitely. You can learn more through the link in the show notes. In our next episode, we'll be talking about emotional safety, what it actually means, how it gets damaged, and why love cannot survive without it. Because connection doesn't break down from one big moment. It breaks when safety disappears. Make sense? Thanks for being here. And remember, when you change the pattern, the relationship can breathe again.